Welcome back to Pops and Pylons. Let's play some Victoria 3. Vicky 3 is out. Well, it's been out for a moment. But 1, I had an EU4 campaign to finish. 2, I was on vacation for 2 weeks. And 3, I came back to work and it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. But I ran out of episodes on my EU4 campaign. I'd recorded all of them at the start, well, before my vacation, luckily. But they're all out. Last one aired today, and I want to have a video for you tomorrow. Well, you're today, maybe you're yesterday, might be Europe weeks ago, but it's my tomorrow, and that's what we're doing. Anyway, we're playing Victoria 3. I have played a little before my vacation. I played around with it a little. I spent a good part of a Saturday, Sunday, something like that, playing as Madagascar and not really getting anywhere. Nothing happened, you know, but we also didn't really do much at all, except for build up some industry. I also played around a little bit with a Margentine, but that didn't go anywhere. But I don't have tons of experience, so this is very much going to be a learning sort of game. I did choose to go with an achievement though for the campaign. Not a terribly hard one according to the ranking in the game. They do have, it's not where it is. Let me see, there it is. They do have rankings or difficulty rankings for their achievements this time around. There have always been some, well, always, I don't know about always, but there have been some for EU4 on the wiki forever, but now they're straight up in here. And we're going for a medium one apparently. Barbary's back, starting as Algeria, retake Algiers and become a major power. Seems relatively straightforward. Build up your country, take technically a single province, and become powerful. And we'll talk about what a major power is and all that. I'll talk a lot about what this game actually is in a mo. But this does seem quite straightforward if it wasn't for the fact that Algiers is currently owned by France. And the French, according to the lore, or the text at the start of the game, do have designs on more of Algeria, so we're kind of not into that. So, in case you have no idea, I don't know how you have no idea, but if you have no idea, Victoria 3, newest grand strategy game by Paradox Interactive. It's the third of its kind. And as Victoria 2 before it, it's a heavily economy-focused grand strategy game. There's combat, there's war, but economy is really the heart of the game. The combat system itself is not all that interesting. It's really all about economy. It does fill the gap between the end of EU4 and 1821, I want to say. I don't know why there's a little gap there. I'm pretty sure EU4 doesn't go to 36. And Hearts of Iron with sort of modern day, I suppose. That's kind of the time frame we're gonna be playing in. It's the age of industrialization. It's the age of grand world-spanning empires, and it's an age of opportunity for people like the Brits who have all this stuff over in India and Australia and everywhere to make tons and tons of money off. While EU4 also has some sort of ranking for countries, it actually does matter a lot. In here, your rank in the world matters tons. It's based on a metric called prestige, which is sort of a mix of factors, economy, military, all that. And there are other ways you get prestige. Anyway, I just want to open this real quick. The big countries, Great Britain is number 1 top. Not the most population, but definitely the most prestige. Look at that GDP, 57.1 million. Not as good as Great Qing, sure, but they're not as prestigious. What is SOL? Standard of living, right. So if you live in Britain, it's a lot better than living in Qing. And that does matter a lot for the game. Either way, there we go, that's somewhat sorted now. I don't know what it was sorted by before, but now it's actually sorted by rank. And we see Great Britain, we see France, Russia, Austria, Prussia, yes, Prussia, the US, the East India Company, still Britain essentially, I suppose. Spain, a Mr. O down on rank 9, which is scary for them. And then some, and then some more. And then at some point, that's going to be Algeria. Right here. We have 1.25 million people living in our country. Our GDP is a whopping 619,000, well, almost 620,000 monies. I'm gonna say ducats because I mean it's pounds. It's probably pound, but it's gonna be ducats. Who are we kidding? And people in our country, they don't live as quite as luxurious as some of those others. But we're fine. It's a small country. It's a country that lost a lot of its power, but it's mine for now. All right, we're playing Algeria. We're gonna have to go ahead and try and get our economy back up to snuff, and maybe if we find the chance, eat into some neighboring land or maybe colonize some neighboring land. Although I don't know if and how colonization of the Sahara works. But there are people here. I think it's technically possible to colonize into there. At least it does seem like that to me. All right, how do we get started? As in essentially all, not even modern Paradox games, they have a nice little feature where it tells you about the current situation, gives you some things that you might want to fix. Frankly, these don't tell us much. One thing is we have unused construction because we're not building anything. We have five construction units available to us to build things. We're not building anything. Goods used by our government itself, which do come from our money, straight up, are expensive. Clippers, which we use for probably fishing, I would assume. They're also used for trading, but I don't know that we're already trading. Are currently 32% more expensive in Algeria compared to the base normal price. We see these kinds of figures a lot where we have a price followed by a stack of money. You can see these here. It's very cheap, from a single copper piece to some silver to a bunch of gold. And that's always the how expensive is it compared to how much it should cost by base. And that depends all on the market in our country, or if you're part of a larger market, which I don't believe we are, on availabilities there. No, we're just in the Algerian market. We trade with ourselves right now. That might change in the future. The Brits have tons of people to sell to. We don't. Anyway, so clippers are expensive. That's going to come straight out of our money here. We see we're paying only 369.96. Not as nice money for government buildings or goods for government. So it's not really relevant. Government wages are expensive. Military buildings, and military wages a lot. Also, military goods are expensive. Artillery is very expensive. And frankly, why do we care so much about military? I don't know. I suppose we can have a quick look at what we're doing with our country's military. So we have two places with troops. We have the North Africa HQ here, with has troops in Tlemcen and in Constantine. And you will see that essentially all of the buildings that we have options. What are they going to do? What are they going to build? What do they use? How do they organize themselves? Do they use railways and stuff? And these are set to cannon artillery, which is better than just regular infantry, but it also costs a bunch of money. If I swap over here to infantry focus, I'm apparently going to make 500 and... I should just not read numbers. 554 extra ducats. So I'm definitely going to do that. And I'm going to do the same for this. We are in no space, I don't think, right now to militarily deal with the French. So might as well not try. At least we have some income now. Money doesn't accrue much. We have 62,000 ducats in reserves right now. We can have about double that. You see the half-filled bar here. Until it just doesn't accrue anymore. And if we go below zero, then we just immediately accrue debt. It does seem quite wasteful to have money in the gold reserves. There's also an investment pool, but we can talk about that later on. So money. Money is an important resource we're going to have to deal with. We also have these three resources, which are kind of funny, because they're not accrued. We have 780 influence, and whenever we use something for influence, influence cost, it just uses that up while it's being used. So we can enact something, use some diplomatic action to another country, and then our influence will be reduced by that amount. So this is sort of a cap of diplomatic actions we can do. Same for authority for, well, I should say governmental actions. And then there's bureaucracy for, well, different form of governmental actions, I suppose. Especially trade eats into our bureaucracy pool, and we don't have much to begin with. So these do not accrue. You don't have to use them up. But essentially, everything that's positive is almost wasted. Yeah, there's slightly bonus for having excess, but really you want to use it. At least that's how I have constructed it so far. These are stats about our country. This is not stuff we have, but this is what our country has. Our total GDP is 619,000, which makes us number 71 worldwide. But per capita, we're not that great. So we have a lot more people. A lot of them are very, very poor, is what that's saying. Not very literate either at 90.3%. Standard of living is bad. This is always spread, and we'll get into that as well. There will be a lot of things that I'll have to go into depth later on, because there's a lot of deep systems. But sort of the each strata, each level of our population has different expectations for their standard of living and different standards of living. And our total is sort of an average. We have only 1.25 million people total, which is growing right now. That's something. All right. We fixed our expensive military goods because we're no longer using cannons. We still have those expensive clippers, but they didn't really show up as particularly relevant here. We could go ahead and play with taxes, and we might in a moment. But for now, let's see how we're doing about money. We're being asked to choose research. Honestly, we don't have tons of research. And the Wiki 3 system is funny in research. Research spreads to you from other countries. And so you sort of have a catch-up mechanic where you just get stuff for free. We don't have anything spread right now. And if you research something that's of a tier like this tier 2 one here, and you don't have all tier 1 technologies researched, these ones are more expensive. The tier 2 is more expensive. So really, sure, you set priorities, but it's not like super relevant where you start unless you have something specific in mind. I would like something that just gives us a little bit more economy. We could try to go for colonization immediately, but I don't know that we can actually afford that. Unlocks a bunch of laws, which I'm medium interested in. I just want money right now. I don't think we have cotton plantations. So a quick look. Can we have any sort of cotton? And again, stuff I'm going to go into more depth later. But no, we can't currently grow cotton where we are. So investing in cotton plantation technology or cotton gins here, not great. Not great. But there's not much else. I don't think military matters much. More convoys, more battalions. No. Let's go with academia. He says, not suringly. It's not going to be mattering too much. I'm going to go with the stock exchange because we will have to trade, and cheaper trade goods are going to be good. All right, fine. What else do we want to do? We want to use our construction, and we want to start spending money. The question is, what do we want to build? There are four different types of buildings. You can build urban buildings, which is mostly factories, like a textile mill, for example. There are rural buildings, which are mostly resource gathering buildings, like our livestock ranches here, or an iron mine we could build, or the subsistent orchards. That's essentially just where people work and feed themselves when they don't have anywhere else to work. They are highly unproductive, and it's not much more than keeping people alive on a very low standard of living. So we kind of want to get rid of these subsistent orchards and get people doing something else. We can build some military and naval buildings, we can build a construction building, which will help us do more construction, or do construction faster. Right now we have 5. If we build more buildings, we can construct faster, which is good. Clearly, for building up economy, if you have faster construction, that's useful. However, whenever we construct, we also use construction goods. We're going to use up fabric and wood. That has to be paid straight off our coffers. And we are not producing any wood, I don't believe. And I don't know that we're producing any fabric either. We have fabric. Well, do we? So this is our whole market. All goods that are traded in our market. And you can sort that by a couple of things, like stuff that we have extra on the market, which usually results in a low price. You see these have low market prices below their baseline, and things that are less available that might have a very high price. It's not the only factor, but that's certainly one factor. We really have nothing. We don't have enough wheat or fish, and it's probably just needed by people who want to eat it. Yeah. Pop consumption. We don't have enough food to feed our people, so that's kind of rough. We also already don't have enough wood, and we're not even constructing. And I believe the fabric here, our pops are consuming as much as we're getting from our ranches and orchards. So, woof. The thing is, sure, we can buy stuff from our neighbors, in theory. I could go to the market and say trade routes, and I'll do this manually. I say I'm gonna want to import wood. I want to say wood. Game. There. We have a bunch of people around. We could even trade with Morocco, which is next door, which means we don't need any boats to do so, which would be good for us. But right now, it would probably cost us in trade revenue, which is not only bad for us, but it's also bad for the people working in trade stations, because they're going to lose money, and therefore they will just not work there, and they won't do much. This will change, of course, if the price of wood changes, which it will once we use it. So we're going to have a look into that later on. Every trade route also costs bureaucracy, I believe 15, if I remember correctly. So we can't do much trading at all. So any thought of building will cost us but an arm and a leg. Which might mean that we want to start building up something that helps with the construction goods. Unfortunately, being Algiers, we cannot build any logging camps, because there's apparently not a lot of wood around here. So we're going to be relying on wood imports for a while, which is fun. We'll see. What we can build, though, is livestock ranches to make more fabric, so at least we only have to import the wood. We can also try to maybe improve our livestock ranches at some point. This ranch here, if we just look at the one in, say, Tlemcen, is paying wages to its employees, and it's selling its goods. It makes fabric and a little bit of meat, and it actually is turning a little bit of a profit. And again, once we start building things, fabric's going to be more expensive. It's going to be even better for the building itself. We do lack some aristocrats to fill up the building, but I'm still tempted to upgrade this by one. It does claim that we don't have the aristocrats or clergymen, but hopefully people will promote to that level. There are different... Oh, so much to explain here. Your population has all kinds of different jobs. Not only do they come from different cultures, different religions, although most of our people are Sunni, they also follow different jobs, which depend on, as far as I understand, job availability, but also the money available to them. So somebody who doesn't have a lot of money, like these struggling people here, they're not going to become aristocrats. Education surely also plays a role in the promotion. Still, I'm going to try and run an extra livestock ranch here, because it does seem to be one of the more profitable things we can do. Even the game thinks though, and that's very rare in my experience. We can build it in Tlemcen or in Constantine. Either one already has one. I'm tempted to do it in Tlemcen because it has more people available. Sure, let's build it there. It's going to use all our 5 production up until it's built, and it needs 30 weeks to do so because it requires a total of 150 construction. Good. Now, if we're going to pause a little bit, not go full speed yet, we should see our income drop by a bunch. One would assume. Not seeing it yet. Maybe on the end of the week. Clippers, unproductive traders. Oh, we do have a trade route importing artillery already from the start of the game, which we don't care about. Now, this returns some of that bureaucracy. It should help with our clipper import as well, because we don't need all those clippers anymore, which might make that trade route unproductive as well. Didn't realize we had a bunch of trade routes going on. So we're importing clippers from the Spaniards, and we're exporting wine to the Spaniards at disgustingly low prices. Still making money, but the price is tiny in our market. It's actually our market price, so exporting it should actually help increase the price. Okay, we got an heir. It's not going to be utterly important yet, so I'm just going to ignore that. Funnily enough, we're not losing tons of money. Which does surprise me, because we don't have an investment pool that we're spending. We should see... Thought we'd see an increased use of wood. We don't seem to be doing that at all. You're not using any goods. What's going on here? I mean, the game has been patched a little bit since release. So maybe there's something going on where the base production just doesn't use any resources. Not sure. But since that seems very doable right now, the next thing I want to do after the ranch is built, I want to increase our production construction. Because right now, clearly, we're not constructing enough to actually make use of our money. What can we do with our other resources, though? We have tons of authority left. And one thing we can use authority on is... Where is it? Decrees. So we can turn on decrees, like state edicts in year 4 that do things. And we could, for example, encourage resource industry to just produce more stuff, or agricultural, which is probably what we want. We don't have lots of manufacturing going on, I don't think. Let's see. We have no manufacturing going on. Wheat farms, livestock ranches, fishing wharves, and these subsistent orchards, which I don't believe account for any of these things. I'm not sure. They might be agricultural. No, it would say here. No, it doesn't matter. So oil, logging, fishing, whaling, mines is not what we're looking at. So it's not. It's just agricultural. I think we're going to turn that on in both of our states. It does only block authority. We can always turn it off if we need the authority for something else. We should also be running infrastructure maintenance in Temkin to improve construction efficiency. And maybe social mobility as well, because it gives us education access and qualifications, which helps with getting those clergymen and aristocrats, I think. There's probably little reason to not run the other ones as well, but that feels kind of wasteful right now. I just don't want to just spam on a lot of things. We got tons of messages already. We see that the cotton gin technology is spreading to us. A bunch of others are too. Some people are improving relations with us. And we should probably also be looking at talking to other people. Two Sicilies did not want to become a protectorate of France, which I guess is good for us. How do we deal with our neighbors? One might ask. Tunis. Wait, that's not Tunis, that's the Ottoman market. Tunis is cautious towards us. Don't really know about anything. Neutral relations, so just baseline neutral. Morocco is genial and cordial. So these are already good settings. We can improve relations a little more by just simply going ahead and clicking this button. We're just going to spend some of our influence, or use some of our influence in that time. But that's going to be fine. The question is whether we want to also look at somebody like Spain or something. They're wary of us. Potential threat? Come on. Natural enemy. Military threatening. I mean, seriously. Surely the French don't like us because they took all our stuff. Oh, they actually are conciliatory. Oh, they want to reconcile with us. Plus 500. Mistaken enemy, okay. Interesting. We won't be able to fight France for a long time. So I'm just going to go ahead and prove with them as well. See if we can't patch that, use them as some sort of protective power while we're building up and making sure that we'll get our stuff back. Mistaken enemies. I'm going to speed through a little bit of this game because early on we can't do all that much with the setup that we have here. So I might as well do that. There's a whole lot about politics that we could technically do. Right now we have we have a bunch of interest groups actually already in our country. It's mostly run by the landowners. But we have the Sunni clergy, Sunni Ulema here with 21% representation. And a bunch of others. These do have their own effects. For example, if we look at the landowners, because they're currently happy, we get this 20% extra influence, which we don't care about, but we do get it. If they were angry, I think, yeah, unhappy or worse, that would hurt our agriculture, ranching, plantation income. And if they were happy, they'd help with investing in in industry. And all of these have effects that they have. They have things that they like, the laws that they like and don't like, leaders that have their own sort of agenda. It does go pretty deep, and they're gonna become annoying in a moment, I'm sure. But for now, the only real thing we could look at in government is changing some laws, maybe. And we don't have tons of technology, which means we don't have tons of laws. You need technology, and you need the people in government that actually want these laws to be passed. So we could, for example, try to ban slavery. Some people would hate it a lot. The landowners hate it so much that they get -20 opinion, which is a ton. They would get radicalized, which causes a lot of problems in our country. Again, something we can maybe talk about later a little bit. Some people do like it, but most people who do don't matter. We can also legalize slavery, but the landowners also don't like that. Right now we're trading slaves, which they like a lot. I don't, but maybe right now is not the time to get rid of it. We could try to get religious schools, actually. There's nobody who matters. Oh, nobody hates it, actually. Everybody likes it or doesn't care. It would give us more education access, more conversion to Sunni, I assume. It does cost some bureaucracy. It does enable education as an institution, which we can then invest in using more bureaucracy to make it even better. But the first, we get the first step for quote-unquote free, or on the other hand, we have to take and we have to pay it once we get this law. I do think education is good for us. I don't quite know how it works. Ensuring a growth in population literacy, thank you, game. And literacy means the cap of how much we can research, but we don't currently have any bonus to research, so that doesn't really matter. Also, technology spread from other places, which matters a lot more. I still assume that it also matters for population improvement. I don't actually know. So this is an interesting law that we probably want to just pass, because all it does cost is some bureaucracy. What else could we be looking at? Police, local police force, quite the support for it from the landowners. The intelligence, I don't like it, but they're marginalized, which means they don't matter. The rural folk also don't like it, but they don't absolutely hate it. So it might be okay. What will that do? It makes the landowners stronger, which I don't like. And it also causes bureaucracy. And yeah, doesn't actually seem all that great right now. Does have a little bit of the stabilizing our country, What about economic system? No, probably not good to go back to traditionalism, does it? Is it? Yeah, we'd get fewer taxes and we wouldn't be able to have investment from capitalists. Not that we have a lot of capitalists right now. Okay, we're still looking at the education, I think. Yeah, let's just go with religious schools for now. Now, there's a 21% chance every time this ticks around to just succeed. It could advance, or there could be a debate, which gives us some sort of event where we have to do something. And there's a timer here. It's going to be in July 36. And depending on a couple of factors, this can be faster or slower. But again, not super important right now. It's kind of important that my voice is trying to leave me. I'm still surprised that we're not paying any money for this construction. I'm sure that's going to change once we build more construction setups. Or our there's been some significant patch somewhere. I don't know that there's much else. We could have a look at trade routes to see if there's anything great. We could actually sell a bunch of fruit to the British market. So this doesn't mean that we are getting 9.31 ducats. That means that the trade center is going to make ducats by doing the export, which will then generate some taxes, I think, for us. Might also generate tariffs. No, we're exporting, so there shouldn't be tariffs. But we're getting taxes, I think, from the trade center. It will employ people who will be doing better and have more money to spend on our market, and etc. It will also increase the price of fruit in our country, which is good for the fruit-producing buildings. It's obviously bad for people who just actually eat and use food. But I think I'm going to go ahead and do some exporting here while we do have the bureaucracy. Immediately increased our GDP. You can see that going up. Literacy is also going up. And we actually already improved our standard of living a little bit with the little things we've done. Could import a bunch of alcohol. The people demand it, and who am I to refuse them? I think this is the per unit gain, so I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and import from the Ottoman. There are other considerations, like trading with... Oh, that's fine. We have slightly below 0 bureaucracy. It's gonna cost us a little bit of taxes. It's not good. That's probably fine. It'll be fine, he says. Spain started a conquer state diplomatic play against Great Britain. Okay. I'm not going to go deep into diplomatic plays yet, but essentially that could escalate into Spanish-British war. I assume for Gibraltar. We can see down here that prices do change depending on demand. Liquor price went down a lot because we started importing so much liquor. Services got up a bit because probably there was more demand for them. And the price of fabric dropped to essentially nothing because we built that extra livestock ranch. So now with what we learned, I think we want to go ahead and build another construction sector and plop it down in Tlemcen. Well, we don't even have one. Surely afterwards things are going to cost. I'm sure. Yes, we lack bureaucracy. It's fine. Who needs it? Oh, event. A popular playwright endorses a reform. So that's an event from the school things taking over, I think. We could just get 10% extra success chance. Or attraction to the Olima group, which we probably don't want. Or we permanently get plus 20 prestige. I forget how much plus 20 is. We have 11. It's probably a lot. I'm gonna go with the permanent plus 20 here. Oh yeah, look at how that shot us up into much higher power ranking. It's not gonna do much for us right now. But I think it does matter for trade importance. And, oh yeah, and we can now declare interest, actually, because we have high enough prestige. Which means we can do things in a region other than our home region. Such as colonize, trade with people there, attack. Not sure where I would be declaring interest. Somewhat tempted to go with Senegal. Do we want to get into I probably can't really get into colonization game. Kind of funny to do some African colonization. Don't really see that we need this for market access right now. We have so many Europeans around that we can trade with. Seems fine. Because we're in their zone of interest. Let's go and declare interest. We can change that later. And maybe this is gonna open up some things for us. Who knows? Who knows? Price of wine went up a lot again. Services, meat price, sort of staying even. It's not. Oh, actually, already completed building our thing. I'm gonna plop down one more. I think building fast seems useful. Yeah, now we're actually spending money on building, which is clearly not good, but it at least works with my understanding of the game. And you can see all the money goes into goods that we need for construction. We're buying wood and fabric for money. Not from other countries or anything, but from our market, which should drive up the price a little bit. Yeah, we do actually have a shortage of wood, which not only makes it expensive, but also makes it not available to people. So what we should probably be looking into is an import trade route for wood. They would be nice. Wood. They would be nice. So since we're already over our bureaucracy cap, I think I'm going to drop one trade route. Maybe one that doesn't look as great. Say this wine one. It's not bad. Liquor. Or the clippers route. We do lack clippers apparently, so... So the clippers one is the least good one for us. Let's see what happens if we drop it. I'm just gonna do that. And then try to spend that bureaucracy on importing wood. Ideally lots, but we can only have 20. So let's talk to Morocco. It's not... we have convoys. We might as well talk to somebody who's productive, like the Dutch. Sure, let's trade with the Dutch. Why not? Why not trade with the Dutch? And that immediately, I think, reduced, our balance is looking not as bad anymore. And now it's going positive again because we're done constructing. But with that cost that we just saw there, I think we're done upgrading our construction sector right now, and we'd rather build something that makes money again. There's probably still another one of these things. It's either another livestock ranch or wheat farm. Wheat farms do seem to make a little bit more money right now. And we want to deal with swapping. Oh, we're going to go single crop. Makes wine lots more expensive. This makes a lot more money. Makes a lot more money. But it will employ fewer shopkeepers, which is bad for people in our country. I think I'm going to stay on wine there for now. But financially, that might not be the smartest idea right now. It's not that they produce only wine, right? But they produce some wine on their wheat farms. Let's build one of these. Still in Tlemcen, I think. And then we're already gonna have to put a cut in here because I'm already 40, no, not quite 40, but mostly 40 minutes in. And we're not gonna make super long episodes. Native Uprising Plague is the Great Sioux Nation. Okay. You do you. We're gonna try doing all those things later on. But right now we have nothing. We don't have money or people. Well, we have some unhappy people, but that's about it. Some loyalists too. And I should try and talk about loyalists and radicals next episode. But not today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you're seeing, and please do hit that like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. I just noticed that my my camera might not be in the best positions because all the messages are down there. And you didn't even see those market upgrades. But I'm gonna do this and see if that's better for next episode. For now, thank you for watching. See you folks next time. And you know what? Talk to me in those comments.